Welcome, everybody. It is your host, Izzy, on the Redzone Report right here on the Built in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and X channels. It is officially 1 week into Buffalo Bills training camp. Helmets are on, pads are off. Our boy Trey is back, and we are here to talk about camp battles and who is putting their best foot forward out there in camp. So, like we always say here on the Redzone Report, let's freaking talk about it. Hey, everybody. Good evening. It is your host, Izzy, right here on the Built in Buffalo Red Zone Report. I'm your host, Izzy. Here, as usual, Sunday, 7 p.m. every week to talk about Buffalo Bills football. And today is 1 week into training camp. Everybody, hell yeah. I cannot wait for this to happen. I cannot wait for training camp to really get going. Pads come on this week, right? So far, no pads like me. Just got the jersey on, 2-7, doing this thing. And look, it's been fun hearing some of the stuff going on, seeing some of the highlights and hearing about Hard Knocks, and I can't wait for that to come out so that way I can watch Hard Knocks. You know, they say, a lot of the footage just kind of goes unused because they take so much footage and then make the stories out to be what they are. And it's a beautiful thing. And before I get going, thank you to Kim Boomhauer, Sandra L. King, my man Jacob Spears, my man Kim again, Miss Nancy. Thank you for being here. My man Lance's mama. And my man Lance in the building. Let's go. Training camp is started, and there's a lot to talk about, but there's also not that much to talk about because there's no pads on. So we're not talking about offensive line. We will talk a little bit about defensive line. There's so much stuff to really, really get into. And I'm here for it, right? I've been watching videos all week, watching interviews all week. Happy to really just dig into football because football is a little bit over a month away, about a month and a half away, 6 weeks till regular season action. We got a week and a half until preseason action. Actually, it might be 2 weeks. Yeah, it's 2 weeks till preseason action. Bills versus Giants, first preseason game of the preseason for us. And it's going to be a blast. Cannot wait for it. I'm so happy that football is back. I'm so happy at some of the stories I'm hearing. And I'm also very happy that, some of the guys that we want to take a step seem like they might be doing that. And so we're here to talk about it. First things first, you can check out the link right here in the ticker, Built-in Buffalo store. You can get some of our Built-in Buffalo merchandise and get you a shirt, get you a sweater. They're awesome, good quality materials. Check it out. Once you've done that, after the show, of course, you can just think about what we've discussed today because you guys know I'm interactive. You guys are going to talk to me. I'm going to talk back to you, and it's going to be a blast. So here we go. First thing on the line, which I think everybody is thinking about, right, is the battle for the cornerback 2 position, right? CB1, obviously, is CB47. Christian Benford, locked in. His initials literally are CB, and he is our CB1 on his team. Number 47 on your program, number 1 on your heart. Christian Benford just doing his damn thing, earning the contract this past year, taking a team-friendly deal because he was literally a top 5 defense PFF grade wise, and whenever he's on the field, he locks down whoever he's playing. You rarely see him get beat. Christian Benford, number 1 corner. So the number 2 spot is what's on the line. Tre'Davious White coming back on a low cap deal, only $3.7 million, I believe it was. And Max Hairston, the number 1 overall pick from this year. Tre'Davious White, number 1 overall pick from the McDermott first year. McDermott Bean first year, but Bean wasn't here yet. So technically it was Doug Whaley, which I'm sorry, Doug Whaley, that your best draft class was your last one. Because in that draft class, he took Tre'Davious White, Deion Dawkins. He picked up Matt Milano. If I remember correctly, Dawson Knox was the next year. But so many good players in that draft. And the Buffalo Bills started their ascension into NFL dominance, right? That's when it really started. You get the left tackle, you get the cornerback, you get Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer coming in free agency. Tre'Davious White, that was his rookie year, right? Max Hairston, this is his rookie year. Now, this defense truly was built for Trey White. Trey White being the CB1 his rookie year here and taking the step he did in his second year and becoming its first team All-Pro on this team, a couple of Pro Bowls, almost Defensive Player of the Year. Didn't get it because Stephon Gilmore was here. Tre'Davious White, this defense is built for him. Now, Max is a very, very, very good scheme fit. Plays well in zone, plays well in man, but speed is his main X factor, right? The X factor for Max Hairston is how fast that boy can run. He can make a mistake. He can get under his feet or get his feet under him and then go. We've seen it already in training camp, but Tre'Davious White has been cleaner in training camp. This is his defense. He knows this defense inside and out. He knows exactly where to be. And he has been able to, as he said, to focus on his entire workout regimen instead of just focusing on, rehabbing a knee or rehabbing an Achilles. No, this is his first time in a couple of years now being able to fully just focus on his physicality. And he used some profanity in that interview the other day. He dropped at least 5 F-bombs, and I was like, whoa, that's not Trey, is it? And it was Trey. Trey is not giving this job up lightly. He is here to compete. He is here to mentor. And, he knows that his football days are numbered, right? He's 30 years old. He's coming off an Achilles and an ACL. 2 years removed now from the ACL, 4 from the Achilles, or from the Achilles, 2 from the ACL or Achilles, 4 from the ACL. And now he's back, fully healthy, where he belongs in Buffalo. If he starts this year, I know some people are going to get, flustered and be like, we drafted another corner in the first round and he didn't win the starting job, but this is different, right? This is you're digging Kaiir Elam, who is a man corner being drafted into a zone defense, who then gets smoked for the job by a 6th round pick in Christian Benford, who has turned out to be what he is, which is dope, right? Christian Benford's nasty. So now, this year, we did the same thing, except we brought Trey White back. We drafted Max Hairston, and then we drafted Dorian Strong in the 6th round. Now, am I saying that Dorian Strong and Max Hairston are going to be Elam Benford all over again? No. Hairston is literally a guy who can fit this scheme and play it well. Right? He is built for this defense, but this defense was built for Trey, and that's the difference in this battle. As of right now, I have Trey penciled in as the starter. Before training camp started and we started getting nuggets about what was going on, I had Max penciled in. So we're going to see how this goes because this competition has a month and a half to really come into fruition. Who's going to be the guy who takes over the job when the footballs really start flying? And they both had some plays out there. Tre'Davious White today almost had an interception, but Keon Coleman decided that today was his day. Keon Coleman had an excellent day today, the Sunday of, I guess, week 2. We'll call it still the week 1 of training camp because there's no pads yet. But Keon Coleman today decided that it was his time to go off, and Trey almost had a pick on him in coverage, and it is what it is. Trey might still be getting his football legs under him a little bit, but he's been outstanding in camp. As of right now, I have him penciled in as my CB2. But there's a lot of time, and there's a lot of learning to do. from Max, and Trey is allowing Max to be a sponge under him. They seem to have a good relationship. Max, through compliments Trey's way, talking about, hey, he plays cornerback the way I want to play cornerback. He's a guy who I watched when I was in high school and college and really wanted to, model my game after, but the speed and the body type is different. Trey's a little bigger, not as fast, still pretty quick, but Hairston has that God-given ability to just fly. So we're going to see if he can pick it up and figure out how to use his body type and his speed to play this cornerback 2 position in this defense effectively, efficiently, and with the ability to win the job. A lot going on here. Man, Steve Noble shows up. Trey has a little different look in his eyes. He has a very different look in his eyes. He looks determined. I mean, we all thought of Trey the first 6-7 years of his career as kind of the goof, the Trey Davis White goalie academy. No one's ever scored a goal on me. Well, he's never played hockey before. So, there's that. So the big jokes and the goofing around. And Trey right now is like, yeah, I love the rookie. I'm going to train him up, but I'm also trying to play. So do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. And we're going to go out there and win some games. But Trey looks very, very different in his posture. And like, even when he came back from the ACL, he came back and he was a little, how do I say, he seemed underwhelmed to be, back. He didn't really seem to know what he wanted, and his play picked up, and then he got hurt again in the Dolphins game where he tore his Achilles. But from that first game that he came back, not the best, and then he started picking up, and then he got hurt again, which was sad. It's rough. But last year, he did a tour of the NFL, went from LA to Baltimore, and decided that home is here in Buffalo. I'm in North Carolina, obviously, but, we know what I mean with the Mafia, the Bills Mafia. Trey decided to come home where he started it all, and he wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to be on the Bills. He's happy to be here, and the look in his eye is very different. Trey said he has his feet and legs under him. He did say that, yeah. And I think he's still going to have to work on it a little bit, but yeah. See, Beast Mode 56. As a Viking fan, I think it's the Bills' time and biggest chance to upset Chiefs. I said same thing about the Ravens. They got the talent. Y'all just have to work on finished games. Thank you very much for that. Nice to have a Vikings fan in the chat. Awesome. Like a lot of things the Vikings have in common, like unfortunately 4 Super Bowl losses is one of them. But on the more positive side, we're on the Great Lakes, so we enjoy the very cold, very northern weather of the United States of America. And, I've always had a friend who was a Vikings fan, mainly because, when I was in the Army, a lot of, meeting people from everywhere. Bills fans and Vikings fans, generally speaking, get along from what I've seen. So thanks for the love. God bless. Man, Steve Noble says, no pads was not the arena that I thought Keon would shine. Yeah, me either. Yeah, no pads is not the arena that I thought Keon would shine. Today, he had a day, bro. He had a day today. Sure did. Great news that he is, because when the pads come on when the pads come on, that is his element to shine. He will be a monster. And putting on weight, I think they said he put on 10 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds of muscle. And then, he wasn't fast to begin with, so we're not worried about him losing speed. We're worried about him going out there and bodying people. Because not having speed at 215 is one thing. But at 225, where, like, your mass is going to make him pay, he turns into like a Dez Bryant, in my opinion. He's probably going to be more like a Dez Bryant this year. Young Dez Bryant, not later on Dez Bryant. And if that's what he turns into, my God, that is a welcome player on this team. Prime Dez Bryant was a beast. Even T.O., just a big body dude who just move you around. I'm liking what I'm hearing about Keon Coleman. We will discuss. But moving on to the next battle in camp. This is a 3-way battle, right? Because we already know who safety number 1 is. It's dude who had 3 interceptions the other day, Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp had an excellent Friday training camp. Like, Taylor Rapp was the star of Friday's camp. And Taylor Rapp some people don't really like Taylor Rapp. Some people love Taylor Rapp. I love the way he plays ball. Physical talent wise, not the best, but I love how he plays ball. Let me find something to set this up because I don't want this on my laptop because that'll ruin everything. Taylor Rapp is, he's locked that one corner, that safety spot down. He's not losing the job. The Bills love him. I like him. We're gonna talk about him more later, but this is about Cole Bishop, Derek Forrest, and Damar Hamlin. And as of right now, I'd say Cole Bishop has a leg up on the competition, followed by Derek Forrest, and then Damar Hamlin holding up the back. Now, Damar Hamlin's been here. He knows the defense, but in coverage, in my opinion, and from what I've seen and from what I've been able to break down, he's a liability in coverage. Excellent tackler. You don't see Damar miss a lot of tackles, And he knocked Tua out last year without even hitting him. He just kind of got ran into and shit was weird. But it is what it is. Damar does not miss a tackle. He's even after what happened to him in Cincinnati a few years ago, he's still willing to throw his body around like it's nobody's business. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to throw my body around and I'm going to make tackles, right? Damar is a football player, but he's not physically that talented. He's not fast. He's not super strong, but he's got technique. And that's why he was able to play last year as a starting safety on this Buffalo Bills team. Damar Hamlin has technique. He's just not one who's going to truly dazzle you with his play. It's not his game, right? He's a solid safety. He's more of a depth piece on most teams in the NFL, but I'm telling you, Damar Hamlin may or may not make this team. I'd say he's one of the roster bubble guys. So if he doesn't make the Bills roster this year, he might end up on our practice squad as a veteran player, or he could end up, getting picked up by somebody else's depth. I like Damar Hamlin, the person. I enjoy seeing him in public, when he's speaking online or in interviews, but I don't know if he's a good enough football player to make this roster this year. This roster is stacked this year, and the Bills are going to be looking for extra roster spots for that D-line, that defensive line. They have a lot of players there, a lot of trade-worthy players, but Damar is going to have a difficult time if he can't get past at least Derek Forrest to be the third safety, because you're going to have two starting safeties, obviously. Every team has a strong and a free safety, but on the Bills, they're kind of interchangeable usually, right? With Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, one of them could be playing high, one playing short, and it didn't matter who was who at times. Most of the time, Micah did play high and Poyer played short, but they could both interchange, which is why when Micah Hyde got hurt that season and Damar Hamlin went in, Damar took Poyer's role and Poyer went up deep to play Hamlin's role. So now you're looking at the way they're playing. T-Rap is the guy. Last year, he played more deep safety, and he's got his job locked down right now, barring catastrophic failure on his end and looking like crap for the rest of the training camp. His job is locked down. If he keeps playing the way he's playing right now, he's a lock. And this will be his third year in the system, so he knows the system well enough. Now, looking at Derek Forrest, he's the new guy, right? Cole Bishop, this is his second year here, so he's been here for a year. Damar Hamlin's been here for 4 years already. This is his fifth year here. And Derek Forrest is coming from the Washington Commanders. When he's been on the field, Derek Forrest has been good. Been pretty good. And so looking at his PFF grades, which I know a lot of people don't care for, Derek Forrest, 66 overall grade, 71 in run defense, 51 in pass rush, and in coverage, he's been a 62. So solid. If you look at Damar Hamlin last year, in coverage, he was a 41.5. So even according to PFF, Damar Hamlin is a liability in coverage. Derek Forrest, not so much. In fact, if you look at Taylor Rapp, Derek Forrest was better in coverage than Taylor Rapp. So if somehow Derek Forrest wins the job out from under Cole Bishop, he's probably going to be your deep guy. Right? Because Rapp, again, run defense grade, 86. Like, he's out there making tackles. And pass rush, when he blitzed, 61. Taylor Rapp's coverage grade, 43.2. Not the best, but also far less of a liability than DeMar Hamlin. Derek Forrest is a guy who could make some noise. Then you look at Cam Lewis. He's a safety guy who he's not going to take this job. So that's why it's only these three guys, right? The Corey Couches, the Cam Lewis's, the rookie we just drafted, Jordan Hancock. I don't see them making a big jump in this competition here. Those guys will be more of a nickel type deal. And I'm going to talk about them too. But Derek Forrest has talent, has skills, and he was brought here for a reason. My man says Bishop and Rapp spent the entire offseason together learning each other's tendencies to attempt to be the next Poyer and Hyde. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I did read that they did spend a lot of time in Buffalo, specifically, not just together, but in Buffalo, which means that they could have been spending time with the coaches, Bobby Babich, Sean McDermott, really getting themselves honed in. So I like that work ethic, that dog in them. I like that. Now, Cole Bishop, as you just said, has been working with T-Rap all offseason. And he's been in the building rehabbing from his lower leg injury. I forget if it was a foot, an ankle, or a leg, but it wasn't a bad injury, but it was something that, he had to work on. And then getting in the playbook, getting on the field, taking mental reps, watching film, and he's had time. And he looks solid out there. I haven't heard anything great or terrible about him from camp, but I have heard he's running with the ones. So that's something to say. I've also heard that Derek Forrest has been running with the ones a little bit too. And so that was because of the injury and the fact that Cole was not really active during minicamp and OTAs. So Derek Forrest went in there and was able to show his skills. For me, this starting job is really between Cole and Derek Forrest. And if Cole wins the job, then it's going to be DeMar and Derek going for that safety, 3 slot. But if Cole loses this job, if Derek Forrest wins this job, it's going to be hard to envision DeMar jumping Cole for the safety 3 job. Just because it's going to be, their second round pick versus a guy who's on a 1-year contract. Sandra L. King jumps in here. Happy birthday to Taron Johnson and Brandon Bean. Happy birthday to the GM and our nickel cornerback, all-pro Taron Johnson. Let's go. Happy birthday, gentlemen. Let's go. Now, as of right now, I think Cole Bishop's going to win this job. He just has more invested in it, more time invested in it, and he has physical talent, 4.42 speed. Nice jumping, I forget what it was called, vertical. Kid's physically talented. He just needs to make sure he has his assignments down and knows where he's supposed to be and when he's supposed to be there. That's the big thing with Cole Bishop. He's got to make sure he's in the right place at the right time. Now, moving on to the next camp battle, and that is for the nickel slot job, right? Cam Lewis came in when Taron Johnson got hurt last year, had one hell of a game against the Dolphins, hitting duck unders on receivers and tight ends to get around, on offensive linemen to get around them, to stop, Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert in the backfield. Cam Lewis, not the most physically gifted guy, but he knows how to play, and he takes care of his assignments well. Not the greatest in the run game, but good player. Now, Jordan Hancock, on the other hand, is a player who can really move. Physically gifted young man, nickel slot corner / safety, and you might see him a lot more on dime. But if that's the case, then you're seeing Cam Lewis's role diminish. I don't know who's got the leg up on his job, but I did hear Cam Lewis had a great day today. Do with that what you will, but that's going to be a battle for the job. I do think that Jordan's going to make the team regardless. As a 5th round pick who's talented and physically gifted and training. While Cam Lewis is really good, I do not see Cam Lewis being the heir apparent to the Taron Johnson spot. Taron Johnson is, 29, 30 years old this year. And, eventually it's going to come down. But I don't want to see the day but the day will come where Taron Johnson is no longer here, and the Bills are trying to get these spots filled by the younger talent faster and faster. So I think that this guy could be looked at as a potential heir apparent to Taron Johnson if he can ascend to that position, if he can get done what he needs to get done. We'll see what happens. Now, the next camp battle. This one's is going to be seen more once the pads come on, right? Because they can't really do much right now, no pads on, especially with their position, right? You can run 7-on-7 drills, no pads, and be fine. But the swing tackle battle between Tylen Grable and Ryan Vandermark is going to heat up here in the next few weeks. Once these pads come on and they start hitting for real, you start hearing the crack of the pads in practice. Tylen Grable beat out Ryan Vandermark last year for that job. Ryan Vandermark is still on the team. Ryan Vandermark will probably still be on the team come 53-man cutdown day, unless the Buffalo Bills find a trade partner for him or something like that. But as of right now, Tylen Grable to me is the swing tackle for this Buffalo Bills team. Last year, he was drafted out of Central Florida, UCF. He came in and he was a relative unknown whether he was going to be good or not, I guess, or how raw he was. They said he was a very raw prospect, and he came in and he took the job from Ryan Vandermark. And last year, I believe Tylen Grable was injured. Ryan Vandermark was not. Ryan Vandermark played instead of Brown, our right tackle, and he had a heck of a day. See, unfortunately, some of these battles will be decided by who falls victim to the training camp soft tissue injury pandemic. Yes, that's true. The training camp soft tissue injury thing is a real thing. And so hopefully most of these get decided by talent, skill, and what you put on the field. But there will be some people who get hurt. And so it's football. It's the way the pendulum swings in this game. Everybody gets hurt. It's 100% guaranteed that you will get dinged up somewhere or another. The only thing is how severe it is. Now, I think Tylen Grable is going to run away with this job, but you never know. I have no idea what Ryan Vandermark was doing. I don't know if he got complacent. I don't know if, he was just lollygagging, so to speak, but I don't think that's the type of guy he is. And so Tylen Grable, Ryan Vandermark, duke it out for that spot. Now, the third and last training camp battle that I can think of, right? Because the wide receivers are battling for roster spots more than they are, pecking order. Like, we already know the pecking order is basically Joshua Palmer, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore. That's basically the top 5 pecking order. Everything after that is competing for a potential 6th wide receiver spot. And one guy looks like he might be out of that now. Tyrell Shaver is getting injured today. Very unfortunate because he was, again, having a solid camp. Ooh, shoot. I got all y'all yawning probably. It's been a long day, but hey. Tyrell Shaver is being carted off, which is normal even for any injury, but God bless Shavers, and I hope he's okay. Jaden, what's up? Hopefully Chiefs win next year. Yeah, I hope not. See, that's crazy. Hey, I'm a troll, so I appreciate the troll. Is what it is. But yeah, Tyrell Shavers getting injured. It sucks because he's one of our beloved training camp darlings and practice squad players that we all hope may potentially make the roster one year if he is able to put it all together. But Godspeed to him and his recovery. Swing tackle battle, though. I think it's Grable. Next battle, tight end 3. Jackson Hawes versus Zach Davidson. That's going to be an interesting one because Zach Davidson is much more of a receiver. And generally speaking, the Buffalo Bills tight end 3 is usually more of a blocker. Now, we do have Dawson Knox, who is, plenty good as a blocker, but they drafted Jackson Hawes because they want a real blocking guy. And the funny thing is, he can catch. He can find holes in the zone, but Zach Davidson is an athlete, big boy athlete. He can get up there and catch the ball. He can get away from people, but I don't know if that's what the Buffalo Bills are looking for out of their tight end. 3. Now, looking at these two guys, you're looking at Zach Davidson, and he is a tall boy, 6'7", 251 pounds. Again, not much of a blocker. He had 1 reception last year for 5 yards in a game where I believe Kincaid was hurt. So him and Knox took that game. And of course, Knox probably got more targets in that game. But Davidson, got to get a catch and do his thing. He was only targeted twice last year. Caught one of them. You look at Jackson Hawes' body type. 6'4", 253. So a little shorter, close to the same weight. But Jackson Hawes is a blocking machine. 5th round pick out of Georgia Tech. And yeah, he's probably going to win this job. Also, my man Roy Collins jumps back in the chat. Welcome back, Roy. Love you, man. Hawes plays special teams too. He plays special teams. He's in my opinion, he's definitely winning this spot, which means that the other person is going to get cut. So Zach Davidson's probably not making the team because of it. Jackson on the 53 and praise Zach makes it to the practice squad. I think Zach will, but there could be a team that they lose a tight end and they need a receiving tight end, and Zach Davidson is definitely a candidate for that. My man Robbie in the house. Hey, Izzy, I have a podcast coming up at 8:30 Eastern on YouTube. Everybody check out 716 Sports Blizzard on YouTube. My boy Robbie is another Buffalo Bills content creator. Support him. Robbie the beloved. But yeah, I think this one's pretty cut and dry. It's going to be Jackson Hawes. Is what it is. So let's talk about players who did well in training camp today. Well, this week. Of course, we're going to talk about QB1, MVP, Josh Allen. He's played pretty well. Threw a few picks here and there, but he has been laser focused. He's been lasering balls in. Taylor Rapp picked him up, I believe it was twice, and I think the other one was off Trubisky. But Josh Allen, with his accuracy, has been on point, accurate, just throwing dimes, lasers, and dots, whatever term you want. Just soap on a rope down the field. Just man, he's on the money with his passes. Josh Allen, no worries there. There's not a lot to talk about with Josh Allen. We already know he's the league MVP. He last year with the cast of receivers he had, he lit it up and won the MVP. No Stephon Diggs, no Gabe Davis, no Cole Beasley. Freaking number 1 receiver was Khalil Shakir. Number 1 touchdown receiver was Mac Hollins. Like he only had 2 dudes over 800 yards. It might have just been Khalil Shakir over 800 yards. Like it's ridiculous what they did last year with receivers. So if I look at the stats here, last year receiving Khalil Shakir 821 yards. The next closest guy was Keon Coleman with 556. Then Dalton Kincaid 448. Like it wasn't close. Josh Allen did all that with no 1,000-yard receivers and only 1 guy over 800 yards. And it was 821. 100 targets, 76 receptions for Khalil Shakir. So 76% reception completion percentage. Good on him, Khalil Shakir. But Josh is doing just wonderfully. So keep up the good work, Josh. Not much else to talk about. Man, coming back. Roy Collins, Hall of Fame game this week. Where's the time going? In the rear view, baby. Time is going to the rear view. See, do you think White will take Trubisky's spot as a backup quarterback? I do not. I thought about putting that one on here, but I don't see it as much of a battle. Josh Allen loves Trubisky. That's his boy. And I believe that Josh Allen will have some say in who his backup will be. Now, if Mike White goes out there, scorched earth, and Trubisky, steps in a pile of doggy doo, then, Josh may not be able to say much. But if they're kind of the same, or if Trubisky's, even a little bit better, Josh is probably going to be like, keep my boy here. So I think that's going to be Trubisky still. Now, do I like that or not? I don't care. If Josh goes down, it's over anyway. So it is what it is. So yeah, Izzy, what's up, brother? Not too much, Robbie. I hope you're doing good, bro. Thomas Cook back in the building. Welcome back, Thomas. Love having you around. See, you disagree with me, but that's cool. Trubisky White doesn't really matter. So here's where it matters, right? The financials matter. Because cutting Trubisky, you save $250 or $2.5 million, excuse me. I believe it is, or $200 million. Whereas if you cut White, you only save his salary, which is like 1.3 or something like that. And so you save more money cutting Trubisky. But if you cut Trubisky, then, might aggravate your starting quarterback who decided that he was going to take less money to stay on your team. So I think that Josh is going to be the determining factor unless White lights it up in the preseason. But even still, the preseason's, one thing, practice is another. So we'll see what happens. I'm pleased with that answer. Thank you. Christopher L. Roseboro back in the building. Welcome back, Chris. And go Bills, indeed. Indeed. So now, next player to talk about. Running back James Cook. Mr. Contract year. Mr. I want $15 million. Mr. Looking good in camp, baby. Let's go. James Cook playing like a fucking baller. He's a freaking baller right now, man. He's out there catching passes that should be touchdowns, but it's camp, so they're like, hey, you don't have to go to the end zone. Like, you got this. Out here, just putting his best foot forward. I mean, talking about, hey, I got to play my best ball this year. I got to get out there on third downs. I got to do more. So that way, if it's the Bills or somebody else, I get paid. He's got to put that best foot forward to get that bag. And he looks excellent in camp. I'm hearing good things about James Cook, and I'm liking his attitude in interviews. He's not worried about that much, man. He's out there doing his job, and he looks happy to be there, So I'm hoping that James Cook does good enough to get, his money. I hope that the Bills are a team that is able to pay him, but if not, then, God bless him. And, we'll always remember the time that James Cook, Captain James Cook, donned the Bills uniform. I'm hoping that they find a way to keep him because, the grass is always greener, and that doesn't just apply to the player. It also applies to the team. But we have had really good running back play either way, from Devin Singletary. Ray Davis last year looked really good. But James Cook is a baller, baby. He's been playing pretty good in this training camp. So when the pads go on, we'll see what happens when the line can block for him, and we'll see who does what. But I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We can move on to the next player because there's not much to talk about. James Cook. The hands look good. The footwork looks good. The attitude looks good. James Cook looks good. Next guy on the board, wide receiver, Keon freaking Coleman. Rough first few days in camp, getting locked down by Max Hairston. A couple of drop passes here and there. Trying to figure out his body in actual competition against the real defense out there, not just running routes against yourself in Louisiana and Texas with his cousin CeeDee Lamb. Now, today, he had his biggest day in training camp so far. It was day 4 of training camp, and Keon Coleman came alive. Here we go. Roy comes out, but just remember, Peterman looked halfway decent during preseason. That's why I gave the caveat. Training camp as well. Like training camp and the practices will determine that. And we don't see all the practices, so we'll see what happens there. Mike White might go out there and ball out in the preseason, but he might look like crap in training camp and in practice. And Josh may still even have a say. Keep Trubisky. Let's see. I read that with Bernard out today. Spectre was with the ones. I for sure am disappointed because Buffalo Joe has been running with second team. So Buffalo Joe has been running the second team. I do not think Baylon Spector is going to make this roster, but I think that they're giving him every opportunity to do so, which I don't understand because he's not been able to stay healthy. But sometimes your favorite team does things you don't understand. And so that's where I'm at with that. But I'm 99% sure that Joe Andreessen makes this team over Balin Spector. So, see, before the season ends, I gotta know what you mean by that, Sandra. See, I just don't see Bean giving Cook the contract he's looking for. I don't see him getting $15 million. At the end of the year, if he puts up gaudy numbers, I can see 12, but Bean just seems like the guy who's not going to pay a running back. And I don't like it, but still. So, Sandra L. King, I think so before it starts, saves the team money. It does save the team money. Getting rid of Trubisky does save the team more money. But it's only like $1 million more than Mike White. And so with that, I'm not sure. But this could go either way. I could be wrong. But I think Josh is going to have a say in that. And Trubisky is his boy. His boy, baby. All right. So, Keon Coleman today just had an excellent day. Brings a smile to my face. When the pads come on, he starts bodying people. It's going to be exciting. Brings a physical brand of football. I just hope that with that, nobody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. He's not going to get $15 million because of, I don't think so either. Not from Buffalo. And somebody else might overpay him. Like if somebody else wants to give him $15 million, but it is what it is. I respect him for sticking to his guns, but it is what it is. I hope Keon Coleman proves me wrong about him. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way about him. But see, they will have to pay more. The market going up. Yeah, the market's going to go up because some desperate team that needs a running back is going to be like, we need you. Come on, and we're going to give you the $15 million you want. And the Bills will be like, we don't have money to just be throwing around. Plus, they got to pay McGovern or David Andrews, and then they got to sign Osiris Torrance. Like the Bills cap situation is not the best for that. But Keon Coleman, baby, our boy, looked a lot better today. Now, the next player we're going to talk about. We talked about Elijah Moore, looking in OTAs and in minicamp. Like he was getting that, chemistry with Josh Allen. But first 4 days of training camp, sip this water real quick. First 4 days of training camp, wide receiver Joshua Palmer has been getting really well acquainted with that quarterback named Josh Patrick Allen. Our boy is out here running routes, winning routes, catching balls. Is he doing anything exceptional? No. Is he doing exactly what we expected him to do, being able to beat coverage and get open? He absolutely has. Joshua Palmer and Josh Allen, you see him talking on the sidelines. You see Khalil Shakir making comments about, hey, he's been coming to me. He's been talking to me and figuring out what his, how this offense works. Joshua Palmer is a welcome addition in my book. I like how Joshua Palmer is starting to blend in. He's silently starting to get there. And I like that because he's not a Diggs type, but he's a good route runner, and he wins deep routes. He wins intermediate routes, and he's pretty solid on the short stuff too. Diggs excelled at the short stuff and intermediate stuff. Diggs was not the best downfield, but he could get there. That was kind of the opposite with Joshua Palmer. He's really, really good intermediate and deep. So your short guys are probably going to be Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir, in the flats and in intermediate spaces, crossers and stuff like that. Joshua Palmer is going to be your double move guy. He's going to be your fade guy, your corner, your post. He's going to be the deep guy, most likely. And you're going to have also Elijah Moore. But Joshua Palmer is starting to show why he was signed to a 3-year, $24 million deal, and Elijah Moore was signed to a 1-year prove-it deal. Now, am I hoping that Elijah Moore proves it? You're damn right I hope Elijah Moore proves it. I hope that Elijah Moore lights it up. I hope he earns himself a bag, even if it's somewhere else, because that means he balled out here in Buffalo, right? Helping us get to a Super Bowl, helping us win a Super Bowl. I don't want to just get there. I want to win. Joshua Palmer's playing lights out in camp. So I'm glad that Joshua Palmer is the guy who we signed and is really starting to get it in with Josh. Now, next guy I talk about also looks better in camp. Last year, struggled through injuries, but we're all hoping that he takes a step this year. Right? Been 2 years, and we took a step back last year. It's tight end Dalton Kincaid, right? Dalton Kincaid, first round pick. We jumped over Dallas to go get him. Dallas was stuck picking Mozzie Smith, who is hot garbage. And Dalton Kincaid had a good rookie year. Best rookie year for a tight end in Buffalo Bills history. I don't know if that's saying a lot, but it was a good rookie year. Last year, injuries kind of derailed his season, and now he's looking to pick it back up. And I like what I'm hearing. The route running, the catching, the touchdowns. Like Josh Allen and Kincaid seem to be getting on that same page. And again, I've said this many times before on different podcasts. For tight ends, year 3 is usually that big year. Not everybody's Brock Bowers, goes out there and has an awesome rookie year. Not everybody's Sam Laporta and has that beast of a rookie year. Sometimes you get a Dalton Kincaid whose rookie year is a solid year, not the best in the NFL or anything like that, but just a good rookie season. And so rookie year wise, if you look at Dalton Kincaid, he had 91 targets, 73 catches, 673 yards, 2 tutties, right? Now 2 tutties isn't a lot, but the other numbers were pretty good. You look back at this year, Dalton Kincaid, 75 targets, 44 catches, 448 yards, 2 tutties. So the tutties stayed the same, but the other overall production came down. We're looking for a healthy Dalton Kincaid to go out there and really start pushing the envelope, really start getting, into that right headspace so that he can really deliver on what he's capable of. I have faith in you, Dalton Kincaid. If you see my podcast, if anybody shows it to you, understand, I'm here to give the facts. I'm here to give an opinion. I'm here to let you know, good sir, young man, I have faith in you. Take care of your business, and I hope to see you here in Buffalo long term as a beast of a tight end, helping Josh Allen be a safety blanket, getting touchdowns, scoring, long balls, freaking first downs, everything, getting us to the Super Bowl. Hell yeah. Dalton Kincaid, I got faith in you, boss. So don't let me down. I love it. Let's see if some of our D-line draft picks pan out, and it puts us in a better situation to afford a Cook extension for a few years with guys on rookie deals. That's kind of true, but you got to remember, like guys like Joey Bosa, who we signed, has like 4 years or 3 years of void years, right? So to get some of the guys that they got, they put in some void years in those contracts. Now, extending Cook now could save us money this year, which they could use as roll-up money for next year, right? Because you can roll your cap that you didn't spend into the next season. That's possible, but I don't know. We'll see. Kincaid will have a big year this season. Then injuries hurt. Yeah, injuries hurt him last year. They sure did. I have faith that Dalton Kincaid is going to have a resurgence this year, and he's going to surpass that rookie year. And I think he's going to be a touchdown machine this year, kind of like Dawson Knox was his first 3 years. If you look at Dawson Knox's first 3 years, it was like 7 touchdowns minimum per year. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good for a tight end who was not a featured receiver, but was able to find holes in zones and catch some pretty incredible balls. Also drop some easy ones, but no one's perfect. I'm hoping that Dalton Kincaid can be what we envisioned him to be when we drafted him. Was it unexpected that we drafted him? Yeah, it was. Has it been a fun ride with him? Yeah, it has. Josh and him probably been working quite a bit to get that chemistry down, but I'm hoping for him. Next player on my list. We're going to the defense now, guys. Defensive end Javon Solomon has been having a pretty good training camp thus far. Again, no pads, right? So he's going against, offensive linemen who were unable to really try. But he's been looking good. And so we all know the other guys, Joey Bosa. We all know Epinesa. We know what Rousseau brings to the table. Like we're not surprised by them. 3 years in a row, Epinesa gives us 6 sacks. Pretty good production. 3 years in a row, Rousseau gives us 8 sacks minimum. Pretty damn good. Joey Bosa coming off of 3 years of straight injuries. Like but he's now in Buffalo where he's going to be on a pitch count because we rotate so damn much. It's probably going to be a situational pass rusher like Von Miller was last year, but instead of, you know, seeing the field as a stand-up linebacker, he'll probably be handing the dirt. But Javon Solomon, as a situational pass rusher, has been pretty good. Pretty good. So we'll see what happens when the pads come on. I'm hoping, for the best for him. He may end up, if he can do it, pushing the Bills to trade and AJ Epinesa away. Right? I love me some AJ Epinesa. Like, again, 40% of the snaps, 30% of the snaps. AJ Epinesa gets you 6 sacks a year. He improved against the run this past year, but if you get a rookie like Javon Solomon going, then you just drafted Landon Jackson, who's looked pretty solid too. Javon Solomon could be a guy who you just can't let go, and somebody else's job is going to have to get taken because we have so many defensive ends. Like we have so many defensive ends on this team. I mean, you look at defensive end. Greg Rousseau, Landon Jackson, Joey Bosa, AJ Epinesa, Javon Solomon, Hayden Harris, Michael Hoyt, Paris Shand. So many of them. It's crazy. And so some of these guys are going to have to go. And that's crazy. Hot take, Solomon will be the next Jerry Hughes. I like that, man. I like that hot take. I'm hoping for it. I'm not saying I'm buying into that, but if he is, yeah. See, just activated Knox and Laviska Shenault. Good news. Yeah, so we lost Tyrell Shavers, and you get Laviska Shenault back. Same body type. We'll see what he can do. But it'll be fun. We'll figure it out. But Pod Junkie, thank you for being here. Love it. Shenault, somebody has to play in that third preseason game. LOL. He might be going for that kick return job, man. But they do like what they see out of Codrington for kick return still. So, the Bills have always kind of rostered just a kick returner. Like I don't know if you pay attention, like Andre Roberts, he didn't play wide receiver for us much. He played kick returner, right? Brandon Codrington, he didn't play corner for us much in that last game of the season, sure, but he played kick returner. Like we've had guys who purely are kick returners, and so this could be a combination between Shenault and Codrington. Codrington is cheaper, but Shenault can actually give you some stuff on offense. He can actually go out there, play out of the backfield, and do some stuff on offense that could potentially make him more appealing. But we'll see. Like, I'm not in the building. I don't know. All right, next guy. This guy is apparently making noise. He's apparently already a training camp darling. Defensive end Paris Shand, who is a undrafted rookie free agent out of LSU. Came out of nowhere for me. 6'4", 268 pounds. He's from Toronto, so I'm guessing the Bills had eyes on him while he was in high school before. And apparently this guy's a mover. He's got some serious movement skills. And we'll see if that pans out once the pads are on. But I've been hearing a lot of good things about Paris Shand. And I don't like saying his name. It's weird. Paris Shand. Sounds like it all rolls together. Paris Shand. But again, he's from Toronto. Played at LSU. He's wearing number 59 for the Bills this year. Pay attention to him. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Virgil playing gunner and Shenault trying for the kick return job makes the wide receiver room very tough to determine who they keep. It's true. It's very true. Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting room because they're going to be looking for roster spots, again, for that defensive end and defensive tackle room, especially when Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt come back. Somebody's going to have to get cut, sent to the practice squad, something. And so it's going to be interesting because there will be players on this team that are, expendable that we don't know are expendable. Maybe we will. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Paris Shand is a guy who's been surprising, and you got to mention him if he's doing some surprising stuff out there for the Buffalo Bills. Next guy, we drafted him. I was not excited nor happy about it, and it is what it is. But apparently, he's been looking good in camp. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. We have some comedy going on in my man cave. Um, but yeah, next guy is Deion Walker. When we drafted him, I was not happy about it, but the back is healed, and apparently he's been a dog. But again, playing against padless people, he's a mammoth of a man, and we'll see what happens with him. I'm still not there yet. Like, give me some pads, give me some preseason work. Let's see you make the roster, and then go out there and do some stuff in rotation with the defense during the regular season, and I'll come around. But as of right now, I'm still not high on Deion Walker. But I got to put him in here because, according to other beat reporters and some of the people who have been at camp, he's been making a difference. He's been looking good. So we'll wait on that. Next guy, honestly, he is my favorite Buffalo Bills defender for the last like 7-8 years. My guy, Matt Milano, out there flying around looking like Matt Milano. Let's go. Matt Milano, look, literally, check this out. My phone case, clear. That is Matt Milano on my phone. My favorite player on the defense since he was drafted is Matt Milano. And he's looking like Matt Milano. He had a sack the other day. Of course, you can't hit the quarterback, so you just gotta run past him. But he had a play where he had Josh dead to rights. And if he can stay healthy, him and Terrell Bernard just chef's kiss. Matt Milano is he's only got 1 year left here in Buffalo, and if he can, do well and then maybe get himself another contract, I'd love to see him stay in Buffalo. But if not, it's been awesome having him here in Buffalo, and it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But Matt Milano's been looking good, looking healthy, and making plays. So, Matt Milano, just know, since I saw you start as a rookie, you are my favorite defensive player on this Buffalo Bills team. I love the way you play. Love the way you handle your business. I love how you're a minimalist. You don't talk a lot, right? You don't have to talk a lot. Your play speaks for itself. You go out there, you light people up. You go out there and you freaking intercept passes 30 yards downfield sometimes. Like, you read the defense. You're always where you're supposed to freaking be. Except for that time when you broke your leg. That sucked. But, it is what it is. I'm happy that you look good this year, in camp. And so I'm hoping that you are able to maintain that health and kick ass during the regular season. All right, Roy Collins, your feelings on Walker or what mine were with Keon Coleman? Not just you, and I'm not the only one who feels this way about Walker. And there's a lot of other people who feel exactly how you feel about Coleman. I wasn't super high on Coleman, but after seeing him play his rookie year and watching him improve as the year went on, I was happy with it. So, yeah. Milano is going to shine and earn a new contract. I hope so. I love me some Matt Milano, man. That's my guy. So, do you think Milano will hear do you think we will hear Milano voice on Hard Knocks? I hope so. He's actually kind of a soft-spoken, smooth-talking kind of guy. Like, he's very direct and to the point. He doesn't say a ton, but I like it. I like that he's not so talkative. But if he was, I probably still love him because he goes out there and he plays so damn well. Unless he was weird, but he's not. So, love me some Matt Milano. Next player on the board. Let me go ahead and clear that. Next player on the board. Last player on the board. I've already talked about him a little bit on the show already today. He's looked good in camp the entire time. He's looked good in OTAs the entire time. He's looked good in mentor minicamp the entire time, and that's safety Taylor Rapp, right? Speed be damned, physical ability be damned. The man hits hard. He knows where to be. He gets his interceptions. A lot of people will say he gets his interceptions because he's in the right place at the right time. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. Like, miss me with somebody who's not in the right place at the right time. Give me the person who is in the right place at the right time, because that means that you're doing the right thing. And so give me that all day. Taylor Rapp, his first year here, worried the hell out of me because of the friendly fire. Last year, a lot less of that, right? That got cut down. knowing the defense and where everybody's supposed to be, and him being as intelligent as he is, really cut back on the friendly fire and the injuries, that came from that. Right? He took out, who was it? He's a Dolphin now, linebacker. Jeez, now I'm gonna look at the Dolphins. Jesus, interior linebacker. I like him. He played well for us his last year here, but then he went to the Seahawks. Tyrell Dodson. There we go. Tyrell Dodson. He ended up hitting him and hurting him. And Tyrell Dodson is much bigger than freaking Taylor Rapp. And Taylor Rapp is a safety, right? It's 200 pounds probably. Matter of fact, I can look it up because I'm looking at the roster right now. All right, so Bills depth chart on ESPN.com. Pull up Taylor Rapp. Probably 6'1", 5'11", something like 6 foot 208. You look at Tyrell Dodson. They both collided. 6 foot 240 pounds. Like, the difference is 30 pounds. That's wild. But Taylor Rapp has been able to cut that down, and now that he has a partner in Cole Bishop, who I believe will win the job, where they have worked extensively in the offseason and diligently put themselves in position to be the tandem, so that way Rapp can potentially get another extension and finish his career in Buffalo, and Cole Bishop can develop with him, and they can form a safety tandem to be, as someone else said earlier in the comments, the next Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. I'm excited about it. Taylor Rapp, do your thing. Keep on, pushing and keep this safety room. He's taking charge of the safety room for God's sake. Like, this guy knows what he's doing, and I'm pumped for it. Guys, this is my week 1 assessment of training camp. I may be here for next week. I'm gonna try to do a show on Sunday next week, but I will be out of town. So I'll have my computer, but we'll see what happens. But guys, love you all. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. Go Bills. And let's see. Do you think? Okay, I saw that comment. Love you guys all again. You guys are my therapy. So I'm hoping that everything goes well this coming week in camp. The pads come on. The Kraken goes. And week 18 red helmets, baby. Let's go.